Analog horror has been in a weird spot for a bit now. Maybe I just haven't been keeping up, or maybe videos aren't being uploaded, but I feel like I really haven't seen much recently. And I'm not gonna go and say that analog horror is dead. It's just definitely not at its peak anymore. But despite this, every now and then I get a glimpse of this thing on the internet, and I realized this is it. This is where it's been the whole time. My hit off of the analog horror cart is finally within reach. I have another thing I can get made fun of for enjoying, but there's just one small catch. I actually don't like it. It's kind of actually really bad. But to find out for sure, I'm gonna watch every single one of these videos, every second, every frame, and by God, I am gonna make fun of it really hard. Because that's what I do. Yeah! The clips I've been showing are from the analog horror series called The Moon Wakes Up. I think that's what it is. It might be The Moon Woke Up. Okay, the first one is The Moon Wakes Up. The episodes after is The Moon Woke Up. And it was animated by Mr. Friend. There are currently 6 episodes and counting, and if you're anything like me, you might be wondering, how did this get popular enough to become a series? But I think we both know that there's only one way to find out. We start off the first episode in space, which is, you know, pretty fitting. We have these 2 unimportant astronauts that really don't serve any purpose besides having a reason to make this found footage. And then you're never gonna believe it. The moon wakes up. Now, you would think that the astronauts start freaking out, right? Like the moon just woke up. No, it's actually a super common occurrence in these that really crazy things will happen and just nobody cares. The moon just starts hurtling towards Earth, and the ship blows up for absolutely zero reason. It's not like they collided or anything. Some space engineer tell me why this is happening, please. We get some 1960s music playing as Earth gets hit by the moon and seemingly wipes out the entire planet. And you'll never guess where this goes. Okay, seriously though, like if you haven't seen this, this is just like a ridiculous turn of events. A bunch of other evil planets show up and just kind of menacingly stare at us. Now, I know what you're thinking, and so is every other rational person on the planet. How does this get a sequel? Everyone clearly died. Right? Like that, no, that kills the whole planet. Doesn't matter, episode 2 time. We see in the corner that it's currently 1967. Hey guys, I just wanted to come and correct myself because as you can see, this is clearly not 1967, and I think I got the dates wrong throughout this entire video. So whoops. And we're taking the point of view of some guys whose eyes are cameras, I guess. This guy on the soapbox is talking about the world ending, but obviously he knows what's gonna happen. He made the animation. We then cut to this guy trying to get his family to leave the house, and
come on, let's go.
I'm sorry, but the voice acting really brings me out of this. I don't want to hate on the voice actors because obviously the concept and mixing is also to blame, but it's super hard to stay immersed. However, I do commend them for not using AI, which I'm actually not sure because I can't really tell these days, sadly. But either way, the guy's son is drawing the evil moon, and it turns out he was an evil moon himself. We then cut to these guys worshiping the moon, and maybe I'm just too woke, sue me, but this just feels offensive, right? I can't put my finger on it. We finally cut to a different shot of the moon blowing up Earth, which, to give it credit, I think is actually pretty cool, but the bar is super low considering what we've seen so far. We cut to an apocalypse where people somehow survived, and I can already tell that this is geared towards children, judging by the stacked skulls on top of each other and the fully intact skeleton just laying on the ground. We learned through the radio that it's been 5 years since the lunar impact, with 3.2 billion dead and 90% of Earth's population wiped out. Originally, I was gonna make a joke like, hey, the math isn't mathing, but it is accurate. It was a little over 90%, but you know, it's whatever. I'll cut them some slack. Maybe the population in this universe was just higher in 1967. We then zoom out with the most ridiculously epic music that I can't play for copyright reasons, and then Jupiter kind of just looks at Earth. What's he gonna do? I don't know, man. We're probably gonna figure it out in the next episode. Chill out. Also, side tangent. Does gravity just not exist in this universe? Shouldn't the planets just be colliding here? After this, though, we cut back to Earth, and hazmat guys are looking at some drawing someone left behind, and we find some epic foreshadowing. Look. Well, I don't think I need to say what it looks like, right? Episode 3 starts us with the only part of this series that I actually enjoyed. The astronauts are landing on the moon for the first time, and it's a clear spoof on the real moon landing, but the bit is that they just got onto the moon because it landed on Earth. It's now been 10 years since the lunar impact, and the people are fully aware that Jupiter and other planets are, you know, kinda scary. We cut to a point of view shot of someone recording near the moon. We also get the context that the Friend Initiative is doing research on the impact. This guy kills a rat and eats it, and who knows what's in the gross liquid he was drinking. And then they have an attempt at explaining how the gravity is working. It says that since the planets are spread out and a certain distance away from each other, we're in an equilibrial gravitational three-way. What? I'm no gravity expert, but what? The Friend Initiative is making a satellite to fire at Jupiter, but then it fires back with an entire moon. All the planets start shooting moons out at the satellites, and then they have a epic butt joke.
And naturally, nobody wants to get close to Uranus.
There is an encounter with a moon person towards the end, and I think that the creator, Mr. Friend, could have done something really cool with this scene, but didn't. As funny as it looks, this guy pops up in the background pretty subtly, hinting at more being out in the Umbra zone, as they call it. But after this neat way of foreshadowing, they just go ahead and show him at the end anyway. And also, he just kind of looks like the Mimic from Vita Carnis, to be honest. Okay, the 4th episode is so drawn out and lame. I think they're just gonna keep making these until it stops getting views. It's very reminiscent of Skibbity Toilet, to be honest. I think it's like harmless. Like, I can't be too mad at it. It's just crazy to me that this is getting so popular when it's so bad. I'm just gonna try and get through this one really quickly because we pretty much learn absolutely nothing until the very end. And go. Another crash shot. Goofy text. Billions dead. More skeletons fully intact. Eiffel Tower's broken. Friend Industry rescues French fuck who is rude because he's French. Friend Industries is trying to rebuild even though the planets could kill them so quickly. Repopulation program. There's this bit where it tries to be funny, but it isn't at all. Trucks full of poorly voice acted Marines want to kill Moonfected. People think that moon juice is turning people into Moonfected. Guy kills the squad leader after least intense moment I have ever seen. Zero impact punch one-shots the Moonfected. And then guess what? Mr. Meeseeks murders them all. Oh, and then there's the important part. This portal opens and takes Jupiter away, which is crazy, and I'm finally interested again. Episode 5 starts with more astronaut stuff, and Uranus is looking menacing. And Jupiter is also here for some reason. I thought he got taken away by the space hand. Whatever. The spaceships try to dock each other, but get interrupted by Uranus being taken. But wait, I thought that Jupiter got taken first. Whatever. And also, again, I want to mention how all of this crazy stuff is happening, and the astronauts are just like, whoa, dude, that's crazy. Honestly, that was too much effort. So actually, all the planets are getting taken, so my bad on questioning the continuity earlier. I'll punish myself later. But we still don't know what these things are. I think they're supposed to be saying that gravity is messing up the equilibrial gravitational three-way, so the ships collide into each other. And the astronauts are still like, whoa, dude, the ship is compromised. Mayday. And I'm sorry, but I need to warn you. The most tragic death ever is about to happen.
Population program.
I can't believe a single soul takes this shit seriously. They made a film theory on this. How? After that, we cut to the Umbra zone again, where people are fighting Mr. Meeseeks as the planets get rifted away, and the narrator says, yay, we are safe. And then there's a massive time skip of 150 years. I was not expecting this to go into the far future, but to be honest, I don't know what I was expecting. And also, I think this is a little hopeful for 2117. I don't even think we are on track for this, and we didn't even have roughly 90% of the population wiped out. It appears that they made big walls around the Umbra zone, and honestly, I can't argue with this one. That seems like a pretty good idea. I'd be completely hyped for the atmosphere breaking wall. Look, they even made a sign for it. Unfortunately, though, things can't stay sweet for too long because the gate is opening back up. And you know, where's the sun been in all of this? We're orbiting around the sun, right? Where's the sun at? What does she have to say about this? We go back to Friend Industries, and now we're taking the point of view of somebody who's getting like a super soldier experiment. Not really, but they're giving him a new arm and calling him a super hybrid. The way I interpret this is that they're trying to make a hybrid of a person and a moon-fected to make him do cool shit. And to test if they work, they make him fight Mr. Meeseeks. Okay, you should have seen that coming. Remind me to inject myself with moon juice later, after my punishment. Technically, there's secret tapes in between episode 5 and 6. And you guys might criticize me for skipping over them, but here's my rebuttal. I don't care. Episode 6 starts with a shot of Earth, like every other single one has. It explains that the asteroids are a huge problem since the disappearance of Jupiter's gravitational field. And really, you just gotta choose, man. Gravity or no gravity. You don't get both. You can't just make up how gravity works. I mean, I guess you can, because it's like, it's fiction, but it's supposed to be like science fiction, right? Like, it's just so stupid to like mention gravity, even though clearly gravity has nothing to do with the situation here. And also, why wasn't this mentioned in the last episode? Jupiter was gone in the last episode. Is Mr. Friend running out of ideas? Then this asteroid gets blown up and destroys the ship, and goddamn, this is starting to piss me off. I'm sorry, I know I said at the beginning I'm going through all of this, but it's so terrible. This obviously isn't my actual reaction, but I wrote this down because while I was in the middle of watching the episode, I could not stand it. It was like a physical feeling of distress. The first 4 episodes, I wrote the script while I was hanging out with my friends, and I thought, hey, let's watch, you know, a new analog horror that's kind of popular. And I'm not kidding, they begged me to turn it off. By like episode 2, this series made me lose aura. Anyway, I think the pink stuff powers all their stuff now, and they travel through the gate to meet the cosmic butthole. I can't really tell. I skipped through it. Originally, my idea for this video was I was gonna like make a theory, because I wanted to like, you know, take a deep dive into a new analog horror series, but I didn't get to do that, because it is the worst thing on the internet right now. And maybe I am being too harsh, but what am I supposed to theorize? Guys, hear me out. I think the moon woke up. Instead of having this section be a theory, though, I wanted to make another